Florida Governor Ron DeSantis as Hurricane Ian closes in on the state.
Mother Nature is a very fearsome adversary, and it's not something that you want to test.
Some areas could get more than 2 feet of rain, but the storm surge is a top concern.
You know, they talk about hiding from wind, but running from water. And so when you have massive storm surge that could make 10, 12 feet, that is something that is life-threatening.
With tropical storm force winds moving in tonight, there's a rush for final preparations.
It means putting boards on windows, picking up sandbags, picking up food and water, and deciding whether or not they're staying or they're going. But that decision will have to be made sooner rather than later. Eventually, curfews will be called, roads will be closed, and no one will be allowed out.
Fox's Evan Brown in Tampa, where the international airport is closing now. The Orlando airport scheduled to shut down tomorrow morning at 10:30 Eastern. Ian remains a Category 3 hurricane right now. Top sustained winds 120 miles per hour, now within 250 miles south of Sarasota, Florida. Enough fentanyl to kill 36 million Americans. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland says the Justice Department and the DEA have conducted nearly 400 investigations related to the deadly drug, seizing more than 10 million fake pills and nearly 1,000 pounds of fentanyl powder across all 50 states.
We will continue to work tirelessly to get deadly fentanyl out of our communities, and we will do everything in our power to dismantle and hold accountable the cartels that are putting it there.
Garland says he's read too many reports of young people dying from just one pill laced with fentanyl, often disguised as something else. He also defends the administration's border security efforts as Republicans accuse them of doing nothing to stop the flow. America is listening to Fox News.
Every search you make, every click you take, they'll be watching you.
Tired of companies like Google and Facebook watching everything you do online? There's actually a simple solution. DuckDuckGo. It's an all-in-one privacy app with a built-in private search engine, web browser, one-click data clearing, email protection, and more, all for free. Download the app today and get the most comprehensive privacy protection with the push of a button. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, beat the largest timeshare company in federal court and has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-857-5656. That's 800-857-5656.
The January 6th committee is postponing its final scheduled hearing.
The House panel investigating last year's Capitol riot will not hold a hearing tomorrow as Hurricane Ian barrels toward the Florida coast. The January 6th committee has not named any witnesses for this week's session, but was expected to present evidence collected over the summer before issuing interim and final reports later this year. Committee investigators also plan to talk to Ginny Thomas, the wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, in a closed-door interview in the coming days. On Capitol Hill, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Pro-Russian election officials say voters have overwhelmingly approved joining Russia in all 4 occupied areas of Ukraine that finished several days of voting earlier today. This paving the way for annexation claims by Russia that could escalate the war in Ukraine. The U.S. among the countries that have condemned the votes and said they will not be accepted. In some areas, armed Russian-backed forces went door to door for votes. The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky just saying we will act to defend our people in all occupied areas. Russia is effectively boycotting the Oscars, opting not to send a candidate for the upcoming international feature film race, a reflection of ongoing tensions between Russia and the U.S.
The news was announced by the Russian Film Academy, with several members of the Academy, including its president, resigning in protest to the decision of the Russian Film Academy. The president issued a letter in which he blamed the Russian Film Academy for taking a unilateral decision over the head of the committee and said it was both unfair and illegal.
Fox's Michelle Polino. Just getting word from Capitol Hill that West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin is asking the Majority Leader Chuck Schumer to remove a permitting proposal that was threatening to derail a short-term spending bill needed to avoid a government shutdown. And Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois, Champaign, Urbana, and Viz. Saturday, all quiet on the weather front here in our neck of the woods for the next few days. Still on the cool and October side of the temperature fence, but we'll moderate some before the week is done and into the weekend. Just a slight downward trend on temperatures briefly early next week, but otherwise the next 10 to 15 days, above average temperatures and little, if any, organized moisture. Otherwise, a complete opposite down across the deep southeastern states, including Florida. Prolonged lashing on the eastern flank of Ian into the Florida Peninsula, then an excessive rainfall event shaping up for areas of the southern mid-Atlantic region, the Carolinas southward and through Alabama and Georgia. Meanwhile, back closer to home, a mostly sunny, cool day today. We'll freshen up the northwest wind, 63 the high, 38 with a clear sky tonight. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, continued cool at 62. Could be a frost patch in low cold spots late tomorrow night into early Thursday. Sunny 66 on Thursday, heading close to 70 Friday and for the weekend. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solgay.
Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff.
Check. I literally just create madness.
Well, they're up.
I'm going to go off here.
They don't have a great quarterback.
I got to take a break. I'm getting in trouble.
To win the Big Ten, you first got to win the West.
Bad Bunny. Have you heard his name in a while?
No.
Has it bothered you?
No. Defensively, they got to come in with some confidence.
Is that even analytics?
I'm in a parking garage. I'm kind of lost.
Terrence Shannon, Matthew Meyer, R.J. Melendez, Coleman Hawkins.
These slogan presentations aren't over.
I didn't come here to go 5-7.
I'm so proud of Illinois football right now. I'm so tired of Joel Embiid.
We're not taking Patrick Corbin.
I want to bet the Bears.
Oh.
You are Reba McEntire's niece.
Roshan Russell.
Coach Bielma.
You no longer salute to yourself.
What? We got all kinds of things for you here.
There's a lot of glass.
Oh.
Guys, we have breaking news.
Uh-oh.
It's the dry
Smack Dogs. Oh, yeah. Who knew the hardest thing to do at a radio station is position the YouTube camera? It seems to be a bugaboo. Kyle and I were trying for about 2 minutes, and we both failed miserably. But we do see Derek Piper. That's the key because he's got a Cardinals baseball hat on.
Close-up, too.
Yeah, baby.
All right.
Cardinals baseball hat on. We're going to talk a little bit about St. Louis. Chance to clinch the division tonight. Why not? The Champaign is in the building at, what is that, Citizens Ballpark, American Ball, in Milwaukee.
American Family Field, I think.
That's what it is. That's what it
really
is.
Is Miller Park.
Yeah, Miller
I'm
Park.
I'm tired of these. I'm not going to go on a full-fledged rant. And now I'm going to sound old.
They spend a lot of money, Derek.
I get it.
They spend a lot of money.
But when I grew up learning that it's Miller Park and Staples Center and just go on down the line, the rack, that's how it should be.
That's why I love Wrigley Field. That's why
Busch
I love
Stadium.
Fenway Park, Busch Stadium. There's not a lot that have kept. Is it still Chavez Ravine? I don't even know.
Field.
Yeah, that's true. So at least they've kind of kept their name. Is there anybody else? Heinz is now done in Pittsburgh. It's somebody else.
It's no longer Heinz Field?
No, they had to take the ketchup bottles down. I think Heinz has been having a problem financially, I believe. So I actually watched, I think it was on Twitter, I caught a YouTube video of...
Why are they having trouble? Shouldn't ketchup be like one of the longest sustainable business models?
Yeah,
let's get into ketchup. Yeah, people are always going to eat that.
What happened to us as a country that now ketchup is in trouble? Salt, pepper, mustard, mayonnaise, ketchup. Those 5 things should be consistently golden, right?
You would imagine.
Think about when you go through a drive-thru, and it's been a long time since I've done one at a burger place, and you ask for ketchup packets. Sometimes they give you 10, and sometimes they'll give you 1. Taco Bell is my main go-to on a drive-thru, and I'll order, let's say, 3 tacos, hard-shelled, no lettuce, and I'll say, can I get some mild sauce? And most of the time I get 3. And I don't blame them. It's okay, get 1 per taco. That's fair. Sometimes I'll look in and there's 28. And I'm like, okay. So I load up my fridge for the next time that I have tacos at home, I got my mild sauce packets. But I'm with you. Like, why would Heinz?
You might have mentioned it there in your answer by bringing up ketchup packets. Not having the innovation to advance past ketchup packets. Because ketchup packets make everybody just
they're hard to
angry.
Open.
They're hard to open. There's not enough ketchup actually in one individual package.
And have you ever poured it out without getting it on your finger?
Probably not.
Maybe like 1 out of 20 times. 1 out of 20 times. Because it's got the little indent, like the little cut mark at the top, right? Tear here. And it's the size of like a centimeter. So you tear it, but what ends up happening is the tear goes all the way down the right side of the packet, correct? So then instead of just squirting the little centimeter side, which is perfect, I mean, everybody's gone through this. Everybody listening right now is like, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Or they don't tear it all the way.
Right.
And then you just get some kind of like side spray.
The next thing you know, your steering wheel has ketchup on it.
Yeah, side spray's not good at any.
In the meantime, we're cruising 60 down the highway doing this, right? I mean, which is our problem. The whole concept of drive-through doesn't seem very safe.
I think we figured it out. That's why they don't have their name on the stadium anymore.
Now, while you were getting ready to go on a rant, and you can still do it.
No, I don't need to do that.
Can I go on a rant about something about drive-thrus? If you are one of those people out there that are going to order, let's say, minimum $30 at a drive-thru, do not go through the drive-thru. The point of the drive-thru is I'm running by getting I need a sausage and egg biscuit and a Coke. Boom. That took me 5 seconds. That's $5.48. I pull up. Boom. They've got my card. Done. Up to the next window. I'm out. Instead, I get behind the guy or the girl that is sitting there for an hour.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, like in my mind, I'm sitting there going, hey, this might not be their fault. Like they may be busy. They're not getting to them. But I'll keep hearing words being exchanged. And I'm like, okay. So then I pull up and the total's $48.95. And I'm like, what in the hell did you just order? And then I just get fired up where I want to get out of my car and be like, dude, did you order your family of 8? Did you just order something for the Brady Bunch? Go inside. I mean, why you got to hold up the entire line because you need a family of 8 to eat for $75?
Fair enough. I don't like it.
You got me riled up now.
I'm sorry.
How'd that start?
This is just what we're going to do. We're just going to go on rants for the first segment.
That's just because I couldn't remember Milwaukee's stadium. I hope there's somebody in the...
We should have just called it Miller Park and moved on. We should have just done that.
I hope there's somebody in the drive-thru right now going, oh, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and back out and go in. Thank you.
Yeah, like how many of this? There's me, there's my wife, 3 kids.
Yeah.
All right, yep.
Yeah.
My line's logic. I should probably go inside.
I better go in. Like a lot of times, I will go in if it's busy, and I'm at like a McDonald's because I order my cheeseburgers plain, so I'm one of those idiots. And it takes longer. So I will go into the McDonald's and order it. So I'm not holding up the next guy who's just ordering $1 pop, you know?
Yeah. I don't like when, and my wife is guilty of this, so I'm going to say
I
it
love
anyway.
This. Can we just do this for an hour? Let's just get
Let's
everything off our chest.
Yeah, we got days to kill before we actually really dive into Illinois, Wisconsin.
I'm feeling a little bit better today, but now I'm surly.
Okay.
Like I'm ticked because I woke up at 4 a.m. coughing
I get you.
and fell back to sleep at 6:15, and then the alarm goes off at 6:30. I'm like, thanks, Lon. Way to battle through that 2 hours and 15 minutes of and then fall asleep for 15.
If Paul Christ actually said anything interesting today, we would have more time delegated to actually talking Illinois, Wisconsin, but he didn't.
He ran a bite. He has can I play a little bit of it just real quick? And we'll get to the context of this later. Did I interrupted you, though? Is that
no,
are you going with the Paul thing?
I was just using it as an example of why we're talking about this.
Right. Okay, so this is on Illinois' offense, right? So tell me a guy
if you're in a drive-through, put it in park first because you might fall asleep.
Here we go.
I think so, especially what we saw. And I think as the year went, you saw a couple different I think they've kind of settled in on their identity. And certainly I think the back is really good.
Oh,
and
yeah,
talented
Chase,
and
the leading
runs
rusher
hard
in
and
country.
Breaks a lot of tackles. And then I think they do a good job of complementing it. And, you know, I think they've got some explosive playmakers outside. You know, certainly You know, I think they do a good job of kind of playing off of what they do. You know, the next part of it. You know, so it's
the part
to
of
me,
it.
it's packaged well, and it forces you to play discipline. But then you also when it, and I know I say this, but it's true. When it declares, you gotta get hats. I mean,
you gotta get hats.
I think they're finding a good rhythm on offense, and you see that on the tape, and that's what we got to prepare for.
Can I get a water? He. You don't think you should be very fortunate that you have Brett Bielema?
Oh man,
and Brad Underwood as your coach.
That almost seems like a Frank Caliendo type of parody, right?
That's exactly like if you played that for me, I'd be like, "Yep, that's Caliendo."
They're packaged well, and you got to get hats. What?
They asked a question today, and the reporter asked the question. I don't know if he was talking about Illinois. I'm talking about the reporter now, or Ohio State, which is what just happened. And then Paul Chryst answered the question, and I don't know if he knew if he was asked about Ohio State or about Illinois. It was like the two just had a dialogue of not knowing exactly what each one was saying, and it lasted like 2 minutes and 15 seconds. And I'm like, what was just said there?
I don't know. I don't know if he was side selling somebody some Little League baseball uniforms. They're packaged well, and then you got to get hats, but then you should be fine.
The guy's out there going, "Oh, hey, our order's ready." Paul's got our order ready. He's got our Little League uniforms ready.
And that one was actually longer than the Brett Bielema.
Yeah.
Not actually Brett, but when he was asked about Brett Bielema, what'd you take from your time with Brett? What do you make of him coming back? And
can we just play it?
Yeah,
we'll play it again. This is okay. I think he's talking about Brett.
I mean, I was grateful of the opportunity. I'm proud of what those teams were able to accomplish. And as far as working, I enjoyed working with them. And
don't say his name.
You look back and you're appreciative of it. And I think
of what
what he's done there, and
where.
Year and a half, it's 2 years, but it's impressive. They're getting, it's a good football team, but if you say specifically, I'm grateful I had that time to be with all the guys who we're with, the coaches and the players.
Can I get a water? I could find somebody in Philo, the next guy that walks down the road, and I'm going to say, can you just give a generic 30-second soundbite on Paul Chryst? And he would be he would at least say Paul. He would at least say Paul.
You imagine him and Greg Gard having dinner together.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, I didn't even think about that. How does Wisconsin win? How do they continuously win? I mean, finally we figured out a little bit of the basketball issue. We finally put a little bit, not much. I mean, are they projected, ninth this year in basketball, which is crazy.
It's like every year.
What was realistically, sixth? And somehow they'll figure out a way to be in – I don't think they will.
Every year we go in saying, this will be the year they're going to downfall.
I've always said there's not a college in America that has figured out how to win better than Wisconsin, football and basketball. They know exactly what they have to do to win. They know who to recruit. They know what style of system to play, and they do it as well as anybody, and it's boring, like their coaches.
Absolutely.
What were we talking
about? As I was saying.
Miller Park.
Drive-thrus. What bothers me about them is when you've been to this place a million times, but every time you pull up, honey, what do you want? Boiler up.
Yes.
I don't know. I need to see the menu. And you're looking at the menu like you've never been to McDonald's. You've never been to somewhere before.
Don't get me fired up.
I know.
Don't get me fired up.
I'm just one of those guys. I like efficiency. I like to know what I want before I even see the menu.
Yes.
So when they say, can I help you, then you tell them exactly what you want and you move along about your day.
We're going to put Kyle on the spot. Kyle, are you a Taco Bell guy, let's say?
No, I
Okay, what's a drive-through that you go to?
Go through like Chick-fil-A a lot.
Okay, so you're at Chick-fil-A. Go. What are you ordering?
The grilled chicken sandwich.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And fries.
And fries. All right. So you did it okay there. But what I was looking for is, I need a grilled chicken sandwich with fries. That's it. So they don't have to come back with it. Do you want anything to drink with that? I mean, you got to be precise, right? I'm the same way. I'm like, I need 3 hard-shell tacos, no lettuce, 1 extra soft-shell taco, no lettuce. I want a Mountain Dew with that, and I want mild sauce. That's it. And they're like, okay, that's $18.50, which used to be $7 when I started eating Taco Bell. Actually, it used to be about $4. But then, yeah, you're right, because then I'll pull up and somebody will be, I'm like, what are you thinking? Well, is that all? No, hold on a second. We still are ordering. I mean, do you want a cheeseburger? Do you want? I mean, we're at Taco Bell here. I guess get me the burrito. There's 15 kinds. So you want a burrito? No, hold on. No, I'm sorry. We're still. Hold on. What kind of burrito? And then the next thing you know, you're in an argument. It's true.
So true. I know.
Oh man, everybody. Then I get this. Sorry, everybody's not perfect like you, Lon. I have been driving through drive-thrus for 30 years. I have perfected the art of the drive-thru. I need 2 cheeseburgers plain, just the meat, cheese, and bun, because I actually went through one time and I ordered a cheeseburger plain. They gave me a hamburger. And I was like, I didn't order a hamburger. I ordered a cheeseburger plain. But I understand why you took it at that. But I'm like, I just need the 2 cheeseburgers plain, fries, and a Coke. I'll do that deal, and I'll large it, or whatever you do. Is that all? That's it. And they appreciate guys like us.
Yeah, for sure.
I think they do.
No back and forth banter.
Right.
To the point. Let's get you through.
I'm assuming if you
you even got the cadence down, because you got to have the cadence, because you got to understand they're punching buttons. And you don't want to go too fast, because then you backtrack and like, all right, let's start over. You don't want to hear that.
And I'll do this. I rue the day when I do mess it up. And I have done that. Like, if it's somewhere like, I don't want to keep throwing out these chain names, but I don't know. Let me think of the going up the ladder. Sonic. I don't go there very often. But if I go there and then I'm like, I'll take your cheeseburger. And then I'm like, so and then I'm like, oh, you know what? I meant your everyday double cheeseburger that's on. And so they're like, so wait, so you want a cheese? And I'm like, I am so sorry. Like, it's my fault. Like, I feel like just pulling away.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I won't eat today. I'll be back tomorrow.
Like, I don't deserve to eat because I just screwed that up. Man, this has been a good segment. Is there anything else that just annoys you?
We could find some stuff.
I was trying to think. I was cooking the other day. I was trying to think of something that annoyed me. That's about it. I think that's all we got today. So we can move to sports now.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so we started with saying you've got your Cardinals hat on.
I do.
Miller Park, we're going to call it, tonight, Champagne, Bud Light, and Budweiser are in and ready to go. Should the Cardinals win this game with Miles Michaelis, all they have to do is win one of these games, and they have clinched the division. Do they get it done in Milwaukee either tonight or tomorrow?
I think they do, and I would pinpoint tonight to get it done, because you have tomorrow where you're facing Woodruff, right? It's Quintana against Woodruff. Tonight, Michaelis against Hauser, and Hauser's got an ERA somewhere in that 5 range.
He's been good lately.
Good lately, yep. You would hope that you just have that, let's get it done. Let's kind of just not entirely relax, because winning the division is not the ultimate goal, but get that off your back. Just focus on preparing for the playoffs. Get the offense rolling, hopefully, here soon. And, yeah, I think that it happens tonight. I think it does.
The Cardinals have won. I think if they win this, will be their 12th NL Central title. And that started – is that right that it started in 94? Does that sound right that they went to the National League Central in 94? Or maybe it was – no, it wouldn't be 2004, would it? No, you're not going to win 12 since 04. As good as the Cardinals have been. I think it was 94, and they have won 12 titles. I think that's pretty impressive. That's more than anybody in that division. And let's be honest, this division was not very good this season, obviously, with the Cubs, Pirates, and Reds not doing very well. And then, inexplicably, the Brewers hitting the trade deadline and going the opposite direction by trading their stud closer, and then that entire team just collapsed.
It did.
And the Cardinals were like 4 games back, went 14-3, got even, and the next thing you know, they were 4 games up, and then it's been like 8 games for a month. And like right now is the closest it's been in like a month at 6. So it was just weird what the Brewers did.
Since the beginning of August, the Cardinals are 18 games above 500.
Wow.
The Brewers are a game below 500.
Are you serious? Wow. I did not know that.
So the Cardinals were down that much? They must have been.
They must have been. Although they were 4 down right. when it started to shift. It felt like I read something they were 4 down at the All-Star break. Or I'm sorry, at the trade deadline. And then all of a sudden the Cardinals traded for Montgomery and Quintana, and then they went out and won what? Their next 10 starts, I think. I think Montgomery, when Montgomery and Quintana started, they won like 10 straight of their starts. And that kind of kick-started that revival, if you will, for the Cardinals to where they overtook the Brewers, and now they haven't looked back.
Yep.
And so here you go. I mean, this is a Brewers team that I can't figure out Christian Yelich because I can figure him out. I think he's still injured. I mean, you know me, I love to wager on Christian Yelich, but the dude just was unstoppable for 2 straight years. Unstoppable, especially against the Cardinals, and not just against the Cardinals. And then all of a sudden, the last couple of years, he's been just really – I mean, they're the guy that they're moving around the lineup trying to figure out where to get him hot.
Yeah, and they've been doing that for a
couple of years,
3
right?
years now.
Mm-hmm.
You look back to 2019, he was second in MVP voting on the heels of winning the MVP in 2018.
Wow.
And then you had 2020, he hit 205, but everyone's like, oh, it's the COVID season.
Yeah.
Some people didn't have it going, kind of weird circumstances, but came back 2021 and 22 this year. He's about a 250 hitter and doesn't have the same pop in his bat and just hasn't been the same dude.
And he had the shoulder issue, I think. And I think that's really –
I mean, we've seen what happened with Chris Bryant with his shoulder.
Did you see that stat? I know you did.
On Twitter where it says he sent out more tweets than he's played in games?
No.
I saw that one.
I didn't see that one. He has sent out more tweets than he's played games.
This year, that's one tweet that I read today.
No, he became only like the 15th player in Rockies history to have so many at-bats and not homer at Colorado. Like, I don't even know how many home runs Chris Bryant had this year. Like
he
6?
Has 5. 5 in 42 games.
And I think all 5 happened on the road.
Wow.
So I don't know exactly what the stat was, but it was something similar to he's the, I don't know, only guy to get so many at-bats at Colorado as a Rocky and not homer at Coors Field. I don't think it's even Coors Field anymore, right?
99 official at-bats this year in Coors Field and no home runs.
No home runs. Wow, that guy has fallen fast.
For a guy that at one point hit,
he was almost MVP, right? Or was he?
He won the MVP.
He won
his
the
second
MVP.
year in the league, 2016, 39 home runs.
So he won in 16, Yelich won in 18, and now those guys are like skeletons of themselves. And they're not that old.
Chris Bryant's 30, and Yelich can't be much older than that.
I would agree.
Probably not any older than that.
Eesh. Man, you remember when we got Ozuna instead of Yelich? I was so mad about that. I really felt like Yelich fit our team so much better. At least the guy we gave up for Ozuna is not very good.
Yeah. At least there's that.
At least he wouldn't be our number 1 pitcher in the playoff series.
I can't remember what it was, but I saw a clip of course, it was Jose Fernandez, right? The pitcher that tragically passed away that was really good for them, up and coming, really good pitcher for them. And their outfield at that time was Yelich, Ozuna, and Stanton.
And the Cardinals tried for Stanton.
They wanted Stanton bad.
Couldn't get him, and then got Ozuna. Yeah. And Yelich was the guy that hold on. I would have loved Stanton. But I didn't. It's not that I didn't want Ozuna. I was fine getting him, and little did I know he'd one day wear a yellow arm thing in a Cardinals red uniform. I've always loved that idea. And he would scale the wall like Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. I can't say I'd seen very many Marlins games, so when I went to his baseball reference and it said Gold Glove winner.
He couldn't throw it to the cutoff guy.
Gold Glove winner with over 100 RBIs, 30-plus home runs. I'm like, this is awesome. And then he's out there in left field. He's got no arm, and he's climbing the wall on balls that hit the warning track. Like I don't know what the heck happened.
He literally would one-hop it would be a clean single, and he would one-hop the cutoff guy, Paul DeYoung or whatever. I'm like, he literally can't get it to Paul. And then didn't he win a Gold Glove with St. Louis?
Did he?
Did he turn around and win one? Maybe I'm wrong.
I hope that's not the case.
Maybe I'm thinking of Tyler O'Neill winning a Gold Glove.
He did.
I know he did.
He did win one.
I was thinking no, he didn't. Maybe Ozuna didn't. I'll never forget the old, why is it yellow? Like, what, are you trying to stand out? I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, surely, I don't even know, what do they call those?
A sleeve.
A sleeve. Surely they have them in red. I mean, I'm just guessing. Now, white, maybe they would say you can't wear that if you're hitting. That would distract the pitcher. I don't know.
I guess.
But
a bright yellow one it would be on the pecking order of sleeves that will distract the pitcher. Plain white. Highlighter yellow. Down the list. Red.
Can you see Ozuna like packing up his gear from the Marlins or whatever, and he's going, if I took this sleeve, I wouldn't have to buy another one. That's going to save me $38. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this one and use it in St. Louis. I don't even know what color they are. Are they red? Yeah, they are. Oh, my. This has been a fun segment. I need to rebound from a cold more often. This has been a fun segment.
Just trying to get you well. Ozuna did not win a Gold Glove post 2017 when he hit 37 home runs, 124 RBIs, 312 batting average, and a Gold Glove winner.
Wow. What was his best? Well, how many years did he play?
That was the year before he went to St. Louis.
And then he played 2 in St. Louis?
He played 2 full seasons in St. Louis, yep.
What was his – what did he do?
First year in 18, 23 home runs, 88 RBIs, hit 280.
I mean, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good season.
And then 2019, only played in 130 games, so missed some time, but hit 29 home runs, 89 RBIs, 241 average. The average fell off a little bit.
I mean, you got to understand that we had him out there instead of like Randall Grichuk.
Right. Going in, I think that was 2019 was a playoff year for the Cardinals.
Yes.
He was one of the maybe the most dangerous hitter for the Cardinals down the stretch of that season. And then he took what? Boiler up. The same amount of money as the qualifying offer from the Cardinals. Is that right?
Yes.
To go to the Braves.
Like $19 million.
And he was one of the best hitters during that COVID season.
That's right. So he had an all-star career or year, Gold Glove, everything.
Everything.
2 seasons of decent, I mean, pretty good, above decent. And then another sparkling year.
Led the league in home runs, RBIs with the Braves.
And you got rid of your pitcher.
Yeah. I mean, he's pretty good.
I mean, it's not like, again, that he'd be starting in the playoffs. Let's be honest with you. They did set up the rotation. It looks like Quintana now will pitch game 2, right, against Milwaukee, almost to the idea that Quintana will be the second starter in the playoffs, which is funny because I think if you asked a lot of Cardinals fans, he'd be the odd man out. But he's been so good. Like in 10 starts, he hasn't given up more than 2 runs or something. So
I'd rather have him than Flaherty, personally.
I would too. I
just can't trust Jack Flaherty.
I agree. And
I know I'm preaching to the choir.
Well, and I know it depends, too, on, like the Phillies. They have a lot of lefties in that lineup, right?
That's
Rhys
true.
Hopkins is a lefty.
Well, Hoskins is one of their righties, but Schwarber's a lefty. Harper's a lefty.
How is that team? Man, I don't know who I want to play. I know
They've got a dangerous order, but they're pitching outside of – they got Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola at the top. They got Syndergaard during the trade deadline, but he hasn't been all that good for them.
I don't know. And then we know what the Brewers can kind of do in terms of throwing out. You face Burns and then you face Woodruff. Now, you only have to win 2 in the first series.
True.
So that's a little scary.
And their order's not that.
No.
Not very scary.
Just
walk
at all. McCutchen. Please, just walk him. He wears you out. And then I did see that Waino, and as you expected, will start the final game on Sunday in St. Louis, which will be cool to be at. I got to figure out what time I need to go into Busch Stadium Sunday. Because, you like to hit Ballpark Village, maybe have a cold one. I assume that's like a 1:15 start. I think you probably ought to be in there by like 11.
Is that one of those bobblehead games?
No, they're giving away. I think the bobbleheads are leading up to it. That game is they're giving away a portrait of Yachty and Waino. I don't know why Pujols isn't. He's not part of that, I guess. So they must have already had those maybe set for production or something before. But I think it's a portrait of Waino and Yachty, I think, walking out of the bullpen or something. It looks kind of cool that you could hang in your office maybe or something. What would be cool is to get them to sign it. I'll probably make that happen. But it would be awesome to see. I mean, you know, and then, of course, they'll make their – I'm sure there'll be tributes. The cool thing is hopefully they'll have this thing clinched, and then they can just go berserk on their day. Just do everything you can, overhype it so much that other baseball fans would be like, oh, this is making me puke. Because we don't care. We don't care. Because those two have been with us for, 20 years? I mean, that's longer than your child lives at home. And then Albert, of course, was your all-star son that left home early because he could get into Harvard at age 12. And then all of a sudden he's back home because he's retired. And he decided to move home for a year before he moves on to his retirement, paradise down in some island. That's kind of how these Cardinals are. So, those are our three kids. Those are our three kids.
They are. It's almost to the point where they need to call up Trevor Valise, Cubs fan, and say, what would annoy you in the final start here at Busch Stadium? And everything that he lists off, you should just do.
Do it.
Just do it. So, like, when they pull Waino, they should switch Yachty and Waino to where Waino's coming in to catch and Yachty's going to pitch for a batter or
just
an inning.
One pitch.
Yeah, and just...
Oh, I like that. And then they both walk off together.
Right.
They both walk, or Waino leaves to a huge applause. He gets the curtain call, maybe two, and then the new pitcher steps off the rubber. Yachty stands up. Here comes Kisner in full gear. Yachty walks off, gets two curtain calls, and then you pinch hit Albert in the 9th or 8th. Let's do 8th to make sure. And then he comes out to a roaring applause, probably homers, and then 18 curtain calls later, that's finally done.
That's it.
And Trevor,
everybody's home by 8 p.m.
I think that's wonderful with Trevor. I think that's a great idea. I think we need to do that. All right, we weren't really long on this segment. Can we get through the NFL? How about this? How about when we come back, let's do a little, since we've already played Paul Christ, let's play a little Brett Bielema about this Wisconsin game coming up. And then at the 5:05, in the 5 hour, we'll do a little review around the NFL. Kyle is chomping at the bit to talk about a certain game, and he should be. He absolutely should be, Kyle, because you deserve it.
I can confirm that, yes.
Those Dolphins are 3-0. They and the Eagles, the only undefeated teams now in football after the Giants lost last night. That was a really pathetic performance by both those squads.
Shocking.
What was it? 19-12 or something?
It was something weird.
Just an NFC East showdown. All right, if you want to weigh in, 359-2255. I have not pulled up the U of I Line and Lake text line. Is it full of
I haven't seen it
condiment
either.
talk or anything like that?
I would hope so. I only
imagine.
imagine.
I said condiment talk, by the way. So 359-2255, the U of I Line and Lake text line. The Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line is how you get in touch with us on the phone. Same number. Follow us on Twitter at @TheDrive935. I'm at Lante, ESPN. See you.
I'm at Tay Piper 247. Our podcasts are on all platforms: iTunes, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. You can also go to tayandpiper.podbean.com. Stream us live at stevej.com, stevejay.com. Or you can watch us live on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and Twitter. I say us, it's really me and a close-up. You don't really want to tune in. Just search Tay and Piper or The Drive 93.5.
Benny and the Jets.
At Jets, we don't just do it right, we do it better. Better like dough and sauce made fresh daily, hand-cut vegetables, and all-natural premium mozzarella cheese. It makes us better, like our Jets Detroit-style pizza made from scratch with hand-pressed dough baked to the thickest, crispiest crunch. Celebrate their 44th anniversary with the best of Jets, a large Detroit-style pizza baked with Mama Jet's pizza sauce. With premium mozzarella and your choice of one topping for just $14.99. Online code LJETS. Jets. Better because it has to be.
Illinois football is back. Shop at Game Day Spirit this fall and gear up to support your Fighting Illini football team. With great football designs and brand new apparel from top brands, they're the one-stop shop to get everything you need this football season. Shop with them at the corner of Neal and Kirby in Champaign, 6th and Green in Campustown, and online 24/7 at GameDaySpirit.com. Game Day Spirit, where Illini fans shop.
Since Busey Bank first opened our doors in 1868, we have built upon a tradition of close relationships and broad financial capabilities. Our experienced team provides the highest level of personalized service to ensure we accomplish your goals, simplifying your wealth management and business lending needs and ensuring a legacy for generations. Building business, growing wealth since 1868. Proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
Hi, my name is Kelly Doherty with OSF Healthcare, and I am a certified nurse midwife in the obstetrics and gynecology department. It's such a thrill being a part of a great team bringing life into the world. We have so many different options for expecting mothers to choose when it comes to our services. For example, the open birthing rooms that can facilitate guests and having a special playlist of music to help soothe mom during delivery. These help tap into what I do as a midwife and really bond during the birthing process to focus on mom and baby and getting them close to each other as soon as possible. We also offer water therapy and other alternative labor management options. Resting, recuperating, and getting a good meal are all on our radar to make a family comfortable in this new chapter, and you'll find it all at OSF Heart of Mary Medical Center. If expecting parents want to explore their options, just visit our website to meet with me or any of our staff and get a tour of our fabulous state-of-the-art facility, including our labor and delivery suites and our special care nursery. Visit our website for all the details at osfhealthcare.org.
Carpet Weavers is flooring their customers. They work with the biggest brands to bring you the best selections and prices on hardwood, luxury tile, carpet, and more. Stop in at 616 West Market View Drive in Champaign and let one of their sales associates help you find the perfect flooring for your lifestyle. Their 100% satisfaction guarantee allows you to be confident in your purchase. Carpet Weavers has been flooring people with beautiful carpet and flooring since 1988. In fact, they're nationally ranked as one of the top 25 specialty flooring stores in the country. Find out more online at carpetweaversflooring.com.
This is Gina from ABC Heating and Air Conditioning. If you're looking for a top-of-the-line air conditioner, think Amana. We carry all sizes and offer expert installation. ABC Heating and Air Conditioning is locally owned, and we've been in business for 50 years. And for 50 years, the only brand we've sold is Amana. So go with a company that is local, dependable, and will be there for you no matter what time of day or night. ABC. Always be comfortable. Let us install your new Amana air conditioner. Visit www.abcheatingandac.com.
It's the most enchanting time of year. Pumpkins, gourds, and mums appear. And you can get it all this fall at Prairie Gardens. Create your dream garden with an explosion of color with the prettiest mums around. All on sale. And you'll love the fresh cabbage, kale, and pansies. Plus a bounty of pumpkins and gourds aplenty. With PG Plant experts always on hand to answer your garden questions. At Prairie Gardens, locally owned. Plant experts, extraordinary gardening, home decor, and more.
Here's what new customers are saying about Interstate Batteries.
It's nice to see capable and helpful associates. They did a top-notch job.
They were easy to talk to and explained everything.
Service was prompt and I was a walk-in. Total service time was only like 20 minutes. I highly recommend Interstate Batteries.
Interstate Batteries. Outrageously dependable. How much is dependable worth? Experience them for the first time at 2504 North Mattis. Way out there, but worth the drive. Interstate Batteries. Outrageously dependable.
Visit interstatebatteries.com.
Like most banks, we offer an app that lets you do pretty much everything you need from your pocket. But at Iroquois Federal, we believe great banking is less about the app you tap and more about what you tap into. And for us, that's a hometown bank where decisions are made locally by the same folks you'll bump into on the bleachers at the next big game, providing the hometown touch that's made us part of the community for nearly 140 years. Iroquois Federal. Still friendly, still local, still here. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Introducing Homegrown, a farm-to-table restaurant located at the Atkins Golf Club at the University of Illinois. What happens when your foundation is local, farm-to-table? It's like eating out of your own garden. Local food is fresher and tastes better, healthier. It creates community and better community health. And Homegrown has Chef Ryan Rogers, who worked at Alinea, one of the finest restaurants in America. Homegrown, a farm-to-table restaurant, brand new at the Atkins Golf Club. Just visit eatathomegrown.com.
If you want a steak, I mean a steak, prepared the way you want it, you've got to go to Long Branch Steakhouse. Hi, it's Jay Lehman. It's been over a year since I was introduced to Donnie at the Long Branch Steakhouse in Gifford. And when I want a great steak, that's where I go. And the sides, the Brussels sprouts, the mac and cheese, and the salad with Donnie's secret frog dressing. Long Branch Steakhouse in downtown Gifford. Open Wednesday through Saturday from 5 to 9 p.m. there's always room for the Long Branch Steakhouse.
Hey, Illini fans, it's Max Kellerman. Catch Lon Tay and Derek Piper weekdays from 4 to 6 right here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
All right, we may have to get to Bielema next hour because I'm going through our U of I and Lightning Lake text line, and it is some good stuff, man. Pipes one.
I don't think they want us to reel it in.
I don't think so either. 651 said, watching Piper cracking up is killing me. Sal, I always go in if I'm low on packets at Taco Bell. Let's see. They said Heinz owns, pretty sure Kraft owns Heinz. So maybe they should make it like a mac and cheese stadium right there. Hold on, let me get rid of this song. I've got a lot of things going on here. I did forget about this. Marty sent it in that now ketchup comes in like a kind of, although they still have the packets, because I just tried to open one the other day.
They do. They've made a little bit of an upgrade.
They have.
You can peel it off
yes.
and dip it in.
Yes.
I would still prefer a bigger.
Yes. Yep, I agree.
Bigger portion size.
217. Now we're starting to argue here.
Uh-oh.
No, I get it. Point of the drive-thru is for those of us that don't want to go inside. LOL. Sorry, Lon. That's probably me in front of you. I hate going inside. Yeah, I'm with you. Okay. Now, one of the things that was said is Daryl texted in U of I and Lightning Lake text line and said, doesn't he, and this would be Paul Christ, almost sound like Bill Murray when he's trying to shoot the gopher when he speaks? So I'm going to try to make this happen, okay? I'm going to try to see if I can get this done. I'm going to start with Paul and then slowly guide in a little Bill Murray here. So here we go.
I think so, especially what we saw. And I think as the year went, you saw a couple different I think they've kind of set
United Nations. Man free to kill gophers at will.
Back is really good and talented and runs hard and
my enemy
breaks
a
a lot of
varmint.
tackles.
An environment
And then I think they
will
do a
never
good
quit.
job of complementing it. And, I think they've got some explosive playmakers.
So what you got to do, you got to fall back. Superior firepower.
And I think they do a good job of kind of playing off of what they do. The next part of it.
They do!
It's to me, it's packaged well. And
it's
it
perfect.
forces you to play discipline.
It's perfect.
But then you also...
yeah, good call, Daryl.
Got to have hats.
You got to have hats. They got to get there. If Wisconsin does well Saturday, it's because they got hats on us. They got hats on us. So, all right, I'm trying to look if anything else. What is it? Oh, Big said 93 was a realignment to 3 divisions and the wild card first coming into play. All right, 95. Okay, 95. Yeah, there you go. Good stuff. A lot of people texted in. I can't
We
get through all
inspired
of
some
them.
discussion.
We did.
We've done our job.
I think we've done our job. That's exactly right. All right, I don't want to do Bielema because I want to save that for next hour. We're actually going to talk sports next hour. We're going to whip through the NFL and then kind of get you geared up for Wisconsin, Illinois. Illinois, extra time now to face this Wisconsin team that just got rolled. I thought you asked a good question to Jay Lehman about the mindset of Wisconsin because – and I think he alluded to it. I don't care who you are. When you go out and lose, 56-22 or whatever it was. I don't remember what the exact score was, but it was a blowout to Ohio State. That has to knock you back a little bit, right? Off your – not that Wisconsin, after losing to Washington State, was coming into that game feeling like they were a top 10 team in the country by any means. But don't you feel as though they would sit there and think, man, we got some holes in this team? Or is it just simply that, hey, we know Ohio State's unbelievable and we're just going to cross that off and move on to the next one pretty easily?
It could be a little bit of both. I think when you give up 52 points, I don't remember the last time a Jim Leonhard defense. I know that Paul Chryst was asked about that in his press conference yesterday, that is just unfamiliar territory for what's been one of the best units defensively in the country since Jim Leonhard has been the defensive coordinator. So that is certainly alarming. At the same time, Ohio State has high-level talent at every position offensively, quarterback, running back, wide receiver. I think when you pair that with the disappointing loss at home to Washington State, I think you pointed out fairly to Jay, it's probably more so in terms of inspiring hope for Illinois or just concern for Wisconsin, both sides of it, that Washington State game versus getting rolled by Ohio State at Ohio State. Probably everybody in the Big Ten West especially, is probably going to go through that if they were to play Ohio State on the road. So I think that Wisconsin will be angry. I think they will see Illinois as the get-right spot. Right. But at the same time, I could see them having a little bit of doubt or just some physical hangover from getting beaten around, slapped around by Ohio State.
Do you almost feel like having Josh McCray back is a must for this game? And Brett Bielema said yesterday he's back to running on land. I thought that was kind of
been
funny.
On sea?
Like that, or we've had him up on the moon. So, although I guess that's technically land. But it's just one of those where it was kind of like, and then I thought it was playful. Almost like, but I think he's going to be good to go either this week or next week. Almost like, you might see him, Wisconsin, but don't count on it. Don't count on it. But you know what I'm getting at? I mean, kind of like Jay said, I'm to the point where I'm starting to worry about pounding Chase Brown all the time against a team like Wisconsin and a coordinator like Jim Leonard, who always figures up a way to dial it up. We mentioned, and of course, I think, again, I feel like if I remember this correctly, Chase was a little beat up last year, and that game just kind of nothing went right for Illinois last season, but Chase had 35 yards against Wisconsin last year. He's getting more than that, I can promise you, but unless an injury or something, but we're not going to do that, and I'm going to knock on wood right now. I tap, so I'm knocking. But, I mean, I would love to – not that I don't trust Chase Hayden or Reggie Love, but I feel like a story of this game may be your number 2 running back, and I'd kind of like it to be a really fresh Josh McCray pounding into that defensive line and kind of wearing them down.
I think it could be really important. If you don't have him, is it the difference in being able to pull off the upset or not? I get your point. I think that it certainly makes sense where we saw it in the Indiana game that Chase in that second half started to need to get a blow when you were in the red zone or just not have the same burst because he'd been breaking tackles, making guys miss, and just shredding through that defense all game long. And then you got down the stretch and maybe he wasn't 100% capacity. Who would expect to be that after the workload that he had? So we've seen here, and Jay's brought it up each and every week, when it's not Chase Brown in there, it's an entirely different running game, maybe below average running game because Chase is helping make that offensive line look good, and he's just making guys miss. So I think that it would certainly help if McCray's in there, and that could maybe be the tipping point of really wearing out that front seven of Wisconsin. Of course, you're going to have to be able to throw the ball some.
You do.
To keep them honest. They're not going to be, we're going to sit back with 2 high safeties, that type. I'm not talking about that. I'm not being unrealistic about what Tommy DeVito's going to do in Madison. I'd be surprised.
Right.
But, yeah, I agree with you. I think it could be a really big deal. At the same time, if McCray's not ready, I understand holding him out again. But, yeah, it's interesting to kind of throw that nugget out there of we might have him. Maybe this has been the plan the whole time. Oh, wait, maybe he won't play. It kind of makes you think that he might at least be available for a few carries, right?
I would agree. And I think that's what I would love out of him because Josh McCray's the kind of, and Jay said it, they're not bringing him back. He's not ready for Virginia maybe. And then even if he is, they're not bringing him back for Chattanooga. And then you take advantage of the bye and then the extra time before Wisconsin. So it's almost as low. In the perfect world, and maybe we'll see it, maybe McCray gets 15 carries Saturday. And we sit back and say, you know what, Illinois played that perfectly. He was ready to go against Chattanooga full tilt. I'm talking 100%. But why do that? Why not hold him back and then, just send that guy to war basically against Wisconsin and let him beat down that defensive line a little bit, whereas Chase Brown's going to run around you. I got one other question. Last year, the Illinois quarterbacks, and it was Sitkowski and Peters, did not throw combined for 100 yards. In fact, they did not throw for 80 yards combined. Now, I'm not saying DeVito's going to throw for 300. And I understand you've only seen Tommy DeVito 4 games. So I'm not asking you, I'm not saying this is Tony Eason and Kurt Kittner, and I'm not throwing that out there. But isn't it amazing how much more confident you feel with a Tommy DeVito at quarterback? Isn't that the thing really that's held Illinois back since,
absolutely.
All these years is just, like we talked about, never having the best quarterback on the field. Like the other team normally has the better quarterback. And I feel like with DeVito, I would say as good as Mertz. I mean, I know Mertz.
Unless Mertz just has some kind of magic against Illinois.
He was
but
Tom Brady the first time we ever faced him.
Yeah, I don't think he was spectacular last year when they played.
He
didn't
wasn't.
have to be. They didn't.
He threw for 100 yards.
Yeah.
Actually, he was Drew Brees the first time we played because he was like 15-16 or something. It was unbelievable. But the point, I guess, is I just feel more confident going into a game knowing that I can get what I need to get out of my passing game if needed, and you will need it.
To this point, I know that the opponent has dictated it. Virginia's not a good defensive squad, and then outside of that, you've played Indiana, Wyoming, and Chattanooga.
That's fair.
But to this point, based on the available sample size, DeVito is a clear upgrade over Brandon Peters. And as we've mentioned I think one thing that gives me more confidence is it looks like DeVito gets the ball out of his hand quicker and is a little bit more decisive than Brandon Peters. Now, again, when you're going to face one of the top-notch defenses, what has been here in recent seasons, they can take away your top option, and then all of a sudden you're sitting in the pocket and you're trying to decide, or they're just beating your offensive tackles. They're crashing in, and all of a sudden you're getting pummeled back there. I just think that when you're facing a good defense, you need a quarterback that can get rid of the ball, know where to go with it, and I have a lot more confidence in DeVito doing that than a Brandon Peters. And even Sikowski, too.
Yeah, I agree.
So that would be a big deal if he can make the right decisions and get it out quickly, because Wisconsin will have their ears pinned back when they know it's a passing down.
Good call. We were laughing about Josh McCray running on land because it's one of those where, we're like, was he running on the moon? But a couple people did throw in the fact that he was running in a pool. Illinois actually has a treadmill underwater. Jeremy Bush, their head trainer, was telling me about it, how unbelievable it is. But that's what he's been doing. I mean,
I figured it was some pool therapy.
We just had some fun, man.
Yeah, I was messing around.
We just had some fun in that first hour. We did get a nice a 217 said, had a tough day, tuned into the drive. I've been chuckling ever since. Sometimes we just need to have a good laugh. Thank you.
Boiler up.
Boiler up right there. All right, let's take a break. Next hour, you'll hear from Brett Bielema about this Illinois-Wisconsin. But when we come back, Kyle Tosk is going to lead us through the NFL and what happened this past weekend. We'll give our thoughts to that. And is DJ Swift ever going to get the ball more than 7 yards in a game, or 7 times in a game? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? My fantasy team sucks! It's the drive.
If you're not familiar with Lifeline Connect, this is a program that helps men get off drugs and alcohol. They do a tremendous job with their 24 beds. Funding the Dream is a series of luncheons where you can go enjoy a lunch for free and see the dorm and learn more about how you can help Lifeline Connect. For more information, simply go to lifelineconnect.org and you can help change lives and generations. lifelineconnect.org, healing men in the name of Jesus.
We all have a mission in life, something that drives us to explore, to grow, to love. And when we discover it, we're made whole. At OSF Healthcare, we want you to be the best you possible. We're here for you on your schedule to make your life just a little bit easier. Whatever your mission is, we're here to support it. Your life, our mission. Learn more at osfhealthcare.org/mission.
Tapman's Towing is looking for you. If you want a career with a great local company, it's Tapman's Towing, paying top dollar for experience. If you have an excellent driving record, good oral and written communication skills, are willing to work hard and want to be paid top dollar, visit tapmanstowing.com. Tapman's is looking for CDL drivers, record drivers, and dispatchers. Work with a local company that rewards hard work. Tapman's Towing. Visit tapmanstowing.com to apply today.
Tapman's Towing.
Whether you move like the Flash or at Hulk speed, join Cunningham Children's Home at Meadowbrook Park on Saturday, October 1st for the second annual Be a Hero 5K. Open to runners and walkers of all skill levels, registration for the 5K is just $25 and includes a t-shirt. All proceeds from this race will benefit the youth and families Cunningham serves. Register today with your family and friends and be a hero for Cunningham. That's the Be a Hero 5K, Saturday, October 1st. Learn more and register at cunninghamhome.org.
When you're buying a battery, it's important to look beyond just the price and make sure you're buying a quality battery. So when you're buying one from the big box store, make sure you ask the question, what's the date on this battery? Is it dependable? Sometimes the big box stores have batteries that have been sitting on the shelf for years. Or you can just come to Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable, and buy your battery from the people who only do batteries. Interstate Batteries at 2504 North Madison, Champaign. Way out there, but totally worth the drive. How much is dependable worth to you? Interstate Batteries open 6 days a week.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Fox News. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis urging people to leave vulnerable areas ahead of Hurricane Ian.
Governor DeSantis says even now the path of Ian is varying, so a landfall spot is hard to predict. That's why all of Florida is on alert. On Fox's The Story with Martha McCallum, he says if you can, evacuate when told. But the state is helping those that can't.
There have been medical evacuations starting this weekend in places like Tampa, where you have medically vulnerable people that are evacuated into more secure environments.
The governor says the storm is likely to slow down once it makes landfall, which means sustained high wind and heavy rain for those areas. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Ian remains a Category 3 storm about 230 miles south of Sarasota. The National Hurricane Center says the center is expected to move over the southeastern Gulf of Mexico today. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky with a new denunciation of Russian-staged votes in occupied parts of Ukraine, calling them a farce and could never be described as legitimate. Pro-Moscow officials say all 4 occupied regions of Ukraine voted to join Russia as the White House expressed support for people who chose to leave Russia rather than fight against Ukraine.
There are people out there in Russia, Russians who do not want to fight Putin's war or put their lives or die for it.
Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says he will remove an energy reform provision that was added to the short-term spending bill the Senate's considering after Joe Manchin asked him to drop it. This clears the way for a vote on the measure to try to avoid a partial government shutdown later this week. America is listening to Fox News.
Every search you make, every click you take, they'll be watching you.
Are you tired of being tracked online? There's a simple solution. DuckDuckGo. It's an all-in-one privacy app with a built-in private search engine, web browser, one-click data clearing, email protection, and more, all for free. Download the app today and get the most comprehensive privacy protection with the push of a button. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, beat the largest timeshare company in federal court and has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-857-5656. That's 800-857-5656.
Authorities in Connecticut are investigating the death of a man who had been hit with a stun gun days earlier.
A probe is underway into the death of a Connecticut man 4 days after a police officer used a taser on him continuously for over a minute. That incident occurred last month while officers were investigating a domestic violence report. Body and dashboard camera video reveals officers struggling with 38-year-old Ryan Marzi before one officer used a taser, which can be heard for more than a minute. Marzi died in his sleep 4 days later after posting bond for assault and other charges. The coroner says the cause of death is still being investigated and state police are conducting an internal investigation. Rich Dennison, Fox News.
A lawsuit against 2 major airlines heads to trial.
American Airlines and JetBlue are facing an antitrust lawsuit with the Justice Department in 6 states suing the carriers to break up their partnership in the Northeast, saying their cooperation in Boston and New York will reduce competition and lead to higher fares. The airlines argue their alliance is not a merger and that it helps them to compete against United and Delta, which are the dominant carriers in those cities. The head of American insisting that blocking the deal would actually take away consumer choice and inhibit competition. The case is a significant test of the Biden administration's opposition to mergers. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
Looks like Shakira will face tax charges in Spain after all. A judge near Barcelona has approved a trial for the Colombian pop star on 6 counts of tax fraud. Prosecutors say she failed to pay nearly $14 million in taxes on income she earned between 2012 and 2014. If convicted, she could face up to 8 years in prison and have to pay a hefty fine. She denies any wrongdoing and has already nixed a plea deal where she could have avoided a trial. I'm Lisa Lacera, and this is Fox News.
Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff.
Check. I literally just create madness.
Well, they're up.
I'm going to go off here.
They don't have a great quarterback.
I got to take a break. I'm getting in trouble.
To win the Big Ten, you first got to win the West.
Bad Bunny. Have you heard his name in a while?
No.
Has it bothered you?
No. Defensively, they got to come in with some confidence.
Is that even analytics?
I'm in a parking garage, kind of lost.
Terrence Shannon, Matthew Meyer, R.J. Melendez, Coleman Hawkins.
These trophy presentations aren't over.
I didn't come here to go 5-7.
I'm so proud of Illinois football right now. I'm so tired of Joel Embiid.
We're not taking Patrick Corbin.
I want to bet the Bears.
Oh.
You are Reba McEntire's niece.
Roshan Russell.
Coach Bielma.
You no longer yeah, salute to yourself.
What?
We got all kinds of things for you here.
There's a lot of glass.
Oh.
Guys, we have breaking news.
Uh-oh.
It's The Drive.
Smack Dogs. Yeah, baby. Good evening. I forgot the good morning. Hey, we are off just a touch early tonight. 4:45 for Cardinals baseball. Touched on that in the first hour. We'll try to touch on it again a little bit. But the Cardinals can clinch the National League Central with a victory tonight over the Milwaukee Brewers, or a victory tomorrow night over the Milwaukee Brewers. Those games in Milwaukee tonight. Miles Michaelis on the mound for St. Louis. The champagne, the Bud Light, the Budweiser, it'll all be iced down and ready to roll. I can't imagine how much of a pain that is to then repack that up. Although I guess they're in the dugout, or I'm sorry, they're in the same clubhouse the next 2 games. So I assume you can have that stuff iced down for a couple of days, right? I mean, let's be honest. I've kept beer iced down for more than 1 day.
You'd be able to figure that out.
Yeah. So if the pain will be, if you don't get it done in Milwaukee, then you got to repack that stuff and head back to St. Louis, which, look, there's some cool aspect to clinching it in St. Louis, especially with the idea of, Waino and Pujols and Yachty and being able to clinch a Central division in Busch Stadium. I mean, come on. It's a romantic side to it, right? That continues in this fairy tale season. It would be romantic. I'd rather just go ahead and do it.
But if you drop 2 straight to Milwaukee on the heels of losing 2 of 3 to the Dodgers and 2 of 3 to the Padres, right?
Right.
All of a sudden, you've lost 3 series in a row against playoff caliber teams.
That's fair.
And while beating Pittsburgh back at home to win a division, it would have some celebration with the home crowd. It would leave a little bit of a bad taste of this being another series lost in the playoffs.
I would agree 100% on that. All right. I want to tell you that last night I thought dialed up a really good single-game parlay for that exciting Monday Night Football game. I had to go to BetUS.com and dial up that parlay because otherwise I wasn't going to watch the Giants and the Cowboys, let's be honest, and most of you weren't either. But I didn't hit. I did not hit, which is that shocking? Not really. But I love the easiness of using BetUS.com for those parlays, being able to check it as the game's going along. They keep you up to speed. You need to sign up at BetUS.com and use promo code 935. When you do that, you get a sign-up bonus, Derek. It's a 125% sign-up bonus. So you're going to spend whatever you want, like what I did is $100, and then they gave me $125. Now, 25 goes to the casino. I haven't used that yet. I haven't gotten the guts to use the casino yet, whether on the slots or do a little blackjack. I mean, everybody I know loves to gamble and play blackjack. I'm nervous as to play it. So that's what you could do. Get on there and play blackjack.
You just got to remind yourself it's free money.
It's free money. That's exactly right. And they can't laugh at you if you're on the computer, right? Or if you're on your phone. I guess. I don't think there's a thing there where all of a sudden it just goes, ha ha. Like, what a horrible deal.
Oh, right. No, I don't think so. I was actually at a casino this past weekend in St. Louis.
Did they laugh at you?
No, I was I was mumbling under my breath because one of the guys at the table was so intoxicated.
Oh.
And didn't know what he was doing. He had 18, and he was still hitting. They were letting him hit on 18. Like,
see, I'd be the sober guy that did that once.
Are you
and I'd be
serious?
like, oh, wait. No, actually, I would not hit on 18.
To get up.
Do you hit on 16?
16's up in the air.
Okay, that's
the line of
17
choice.
or above, you're good.
Usually you got 17 and above, they don't even ask you.
Yeah, I was going to say just move to the next guy. Okay, that's fair. And then 15 and below, you got to take a hit, don't you? Or
depending on what the dealer's showing, but yeah, usually.
So really 16, 15 are kind of your Okay, I get it. Well, listen, go to betus.com and you can practice with their dealers, live dealers, before you then go to Vegas or to a boat or wherever you go to gamble. 1-800-79-BET-US, 1-800-79-BET-US, or betus.com. And again, use promo code 935, and we're going to set you up with some free stinking money for you to use gambling. Oh, Kyle Tosk. Kyle Tosk sounds like a Georgia quarterback. Have they had a Kyle
Kyle Trask was a Florida quarterback.
That's right.
So
okay.
My
dad always joked about that one. Kyle Trask at Florida.
Okay, that's where I'm going.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Okay. Kyle, are you anywhere near being a quarterback?
No.
What athletic event did you specialize in?
I was a tennis player in high
that's
school.
right. You were a good tennis player.
Yes.
Okay. How could I score a point off of you?
You probably could.
Okay.
Just luck into a couple.
Oh, wow. Now you're saying a lot. You've never seen me play. You don't know how skilled I am. Like Bjorn Borg taught me the game. You'll have to ask your dad about Bjorn Borg. No, Yvonne Lindell was my, idol. He had the cool shirt.
I don't know who that is either.
Do you serve really hard, or is it more of a spin?
I went for more power than spin on my serves, so.
Ooh. Now I kind of want to do it. Now I feel like our listeners want to know if I could win a point. We'll just play one game because there's no way I'm making two. Right? I mean, let's be honest. I'm not getting past two. All right, Kyle, you got the NFL games dialed up, my friend?
Yes, I do.
Start where you want to start.
All right, well, let's quickly go back to last Thursday because I don't think you guys have touched on it yet. The Browns beat the Steelers 29-17 behind a big game from Nick Chubb.
Of course. I was facing two guys this week, Nick Chubb and Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson accounted for 6 touchdowns. Nick Chubb, of course, did his part in the Cleveland Browns win over the Steelers. I'll be frank. I'm not going to be frank. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I did not see any of this game. We did not touch on it Friday. Pipes, I think you witnessed a little bit of it. What do you got on this one?
I didn't because I was like you at the Illinois-Chattanooga game.
Yeah, exactly. That's
so
why.
There wasn't much to watch there. I'm shocked that Mitch Trubisky's not getting it done for the Steelers. Let me read off some stats real quick. I got to point to this. He's through 3 games. He's thrown for 570 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, a QBR of 44.
Sounds like a winner.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't dog on him too much because he's thrown for twice as many yards as Justin Fields, and his QBR is twice as high as Justin Fields.
Wow.
Enter, not Sandman, but sadness. Move along, Kyle.
Wow.
Well, you led right into it. How about
boy.
the Bears? They did get the win. I know Justin Fields didn't look good, but the Bears are 2-1. Khalil Herbert, 157 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Just win, baby. Look. This is as good as you could have expected starting a season. I mean, let's be honest, with the Niners coming to town and followed that up with a Green Bay in Lambeau, you're basically wanting to be 1-2 right now. You're 2-1, so you're 1 game ahead of where you need to be. But you said it best the other day. I mean, you can look through the mirage that is wins over a San Francisco team with Trey Lance at quarterback, who was not very good, and a team that just lost to the Broncos, and then beating a Houston Texan team that is not very good, let's be honest. You can look through the mirage and look at what you really need to look at. The running game is fine. It's the pass and catch, and that's an issue still for the Chicago Bears.
The fact that nationally there are conversations, is Justin Fields the worst starting quarterback in the NFL right now?
Wow.
The fact that that's being had, I am 0% more confident in the Chicago Bears than I was before they played the first game, and that's after beating a San Francisco team that is probably going to the playoffs.
Yeah, maybe.
And, maybe. And then the Houston Texans was a game that's just disgusting. In general, you prevented Lovey from winning his homecoming. I'm grateful for that. But at the same time, I am extremely discouraged with what I'm seeing from the passing game. And big picture, I know we talked about it on Monday. It's fraudulent to sit there and say 2-1. Oh, okay, you should feel good. You're playing the Giants this week. If they're 3-1, we're getting a false sense of what this team really is. You're not going anywhere if your quarterback is not throwing for 250 to 300 yards, let alone barely reaching 100 or not even getting there. I'm super concerned about the Bears, and I feel 0% better even though they won.
You watch the Bears more than I do. Why? I mean, is the offensive line simply they just can't protect against the pass? Because I feel like running-wise, you guys do have holes that you can run through and gain a lot of yards. I mean, Montgomery's had a couple of nice games. Herbert comes in and goes for 150+. I mean, is it just that O-line can't pass protect?
I don't want to put it all on the offensive line. I don't know. I think that you watched the Packers game. I thought they did a decent job of keeping Fields clean. And I just think that it's been part of just the sum of a lot of bad things going. You got a second-year quarterback with a first-time play caller in the NFL. You've got a really bad array of weapons. And then you have a below average to one of the worst pass-protecting offensive lines. And then now something that's being accurately pointed out here with Fields, his mechanics are all off.
Okay.
And I think he's just expecting pressure on every single drop back, where now, because you didn't give him a good front seven or good front five to protect, he's like getting sped up and rushed. But I don't want to take blame away from Justin Fields. Justin Fields is not playing well in his own right. He threw into triple coverage late in that game, which could have lost you the game. And he needs to step up and play a lot better, too.
Fantasy question. How injured is Montgomery? Who should jump on Khalil Herbert?
I haven't seen, actually, I'm being a bad Bears fan here, an official update on Montgomery. But if Khalil Herbert's out there, even with Montgomery healthy, he's been getting kind of like, it's been a 60-40 split of carries.
Okay.
Decent. I know that Montgomery took a lot of them in the Packers game, but if he's not going to go, I'd definitely take Khalil Herbert.
Okay. There you go. Kyle?
Let's talk about the game of the day. The Miami Dolphins knock off the almighty Bills 21-19. I am still trying to figure out how the Dolphins won this game, because if you look at the numbers, Josh Allen and the Bills offense had the ball for 41 minutes.
Makes no sense, does it?
The Bills ran 90 plays to the Dolphins 39. And the Dolphins found a way to get it done, but man, I'm fired up, 3-0.
No doubt, and you should be. A win is a win, right? Get the win and move on. I think you said it there. I think it's a little bit, I'm using the word mirage again, which is weird. I don't know if I've ever used that in 12 years here, but I'm using it twice. I think a little bit of that. I think Buffalo's still the better team. Would you agree?
I would agree with that.
And it's just the fact that Miami did what they had to do to get that done. And, you know, they're late in the game. Buffalo was just absolutely taxed. They couldn't even get to the line to spike the ball. And I know that, you know, they had the big holding call that took them back 10 yards to where they had to get up even close to the 40-yard line to kick that field goal for Tyler Bass. But I'm still a believer big time in Buffalo. But I'll tell you this, it opened my eyes to what Miami is doing and can do. And that's going to be a fun AFC East now because, you know, obviously the Patriots aren't what they are. But you look at what Miami, they're now a leg up on Buffalo in that division. That's pretty impressive to me what they were able to accomplish, even though you're right, Buffalo was able to just kind of control that game.
For Buffalo to go from looking like a head above everybody in the NFL to then Miami beating a team that's owned you in the division, I can respect that. I'm waiting for that moment, and I'll continue to wait if that ever does come. But the investment they made in putting pieces around Tua, getting Waddle with a high draft pick, Tyreek Hill's had a great start so far, and that's a pretty good defense for Miami as well, and being able to get that last stop where the clock just ran out. The Bills were trying to get in field goal position, but they ultimately couldn't. It's fun. I mean, Miami's a fun team. And
they are.
They got a huge matchup coming up on Thursday against the Bengals, and I think the more new teams, the Cardinals were that last year.
Yes.
Kind of like
yes.
a new team to the mix that's likable and it's fun and everything. I mean, the Dolphins haven't won a playoff game. I had to look this up since 2000.
Wow.
So
really?
I'm down with the Dolphins being back in the big picture. It's
Chase
cool.
Edmonds, couple touchdowns as well for Miami. So good win, Dolphins. Good win, Dolphins.
Yeah, I said it that first day you asked me. I have yet to watch the Dolphins win a playoff game.
Right. That's right.
Maybe this is the year. The Colts knock off the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
20-17. I think you said it last week. You're like, this would be so Colts to win this one.
It would, and it is. I mean, it's so them. They can. I mean, they did a great job. Matt Ryan had a solid game. Jonathan Taylor decent on the ground, and their defense finally kind of showed up for that Colts team. I mean, this is a proud Colts team, and this is a team that has every thought in their mind of winning that division, and they should. And if they would have started 0-3, they would have really put themselves kind of way back. I mean, you've already lost to Houston in that thing. Of course, they tied. I'm sorry. So they would have been 0-2-1. But now they're the always peculiar 1-1-1 squad in the NFL. I mean, this was a huge win for the Colts. Now, do they still have a lot of issues? Yeah. I'm still waiting to see a lot of that being cleared up. This is a team that, at their best, makes the playoffs and probably nothing else. But it's just weird that then all of a sudden they're going to knock off Kansas City. Does that speak to the idea of the parity in the NFL? Yeah. I mean, that's what it is, right?
It does. Parity in the NFL, and when you have a desperate team at home needing to win, they find a way to get it done. And yeah,
these are pros, right?
Yeah, right, pros. Absolutely. And they had Pittman back. That was a big deal for Matt Ryan, who had a pretty decent game. And then Jonathan Taylor doesn't have his standard like 100 yards on the ground, but it's hard for the Chiefs to go out there and win every game they should. There's the roller coaster effect, and it's still kind of one of those teams that I said it going into the game that you wonder if the Chiefs might get bored or complacent or whatnot. I'm not saying that's what happened, but yeah, I think you said it better in terms of the parity and just desperate teams being backed in the corner and the Colts finding a way to win.
These are pros, baby. These are pros. Kyle?
Raiders fall to 0-3 as their late rally falls short against the Titans 24-22.
I for Lindy's sake, and I got a buddy, Craig Bogle, who's a big Raiders fan, I kind of really thought that this Raiders team would be one that would really kind of put a scare into some of the AFC West. And, man, we're going to get to the Chargers. What? But I don't know. Now I'm just sitting there. I mean, you lose the fluke to Arizona, and then you just go back out and just lay an egg again. I don't know. It's unfortunate because sometimes there's certain teams that you feel like, and listen, the Raiders are a proud organization. They've won Super Bowls. I get it, right? I'm not making fun of the organization as a whole, but just of late, they're just one of those where you feel like, okay, maybe they're on the cusp here. Derek Carr is pretty good. They've got some guys around him that are pretty solid. I always liked Josh Jacobs. Waller's a hell of a tight end. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait, now they're 0-3. Never mind. That's how I'm almost disgusted in them, and I'm not even a Raiders fan.
Right. It almost feels like they have too many talented pieces to be in this situation.
Correct.
And then you start to question, maybe Josh McDaniels, he did get fired in Denver. Yeah, he didn't win a whole lot. Is he an issue in that whole deal? And
fair.
Also, where the heck did Devontae Adams go after week one? He barely got the ball against the Cardinals, 2 catches for 12 yards, and he had 5 catches for 36. And I looked at this matchup. Stephon Diggs, when Gabe Davis was out, absolutely shredded the Titans secondary. When they knew the ball was going to Diggs, I'm like, this is going to be a perfect bounce back spot for Adams. It wasn't, even though Mac Hollins is if you manage to pick him up in fantasy, solid. You're doing well.
Is the target share there for Devontae?
I mean, he had 10 targets, just 36 yards.
So I don't know is this a Carr or an Adams issue or what's going on?
Might be a little bit of Carr, who wasn't very good in that week 1 against the Chargers. I expected more out of Derek Carr, and that might be a difference in some of these close losses for them.
That's fair.
Vikings score in the final minute, come back to beat the Lions 28-24 at home.
You know what, Detroit, you get fancy. You don't use Swift. I know I'm one of I'm one of a few that just sit there and like whatever. I'm glad you lost. Actually, Detroit is the perfect. I just explained it with the Raiders. Detroit is the perfect team to say, it's the Lions. They suck again. And here I thought there was going to be a fun Thanksgiving Day.
It still will, because they can't help but play in a close game
against
every single week. They either blow a lead,
I know,
or they come back from a deficit, and it's going to be a one-score game at the very end.
Yep.
They're a fun team, and I still love watching Amon-Ra St. Brown. I am also a DeAndre Swift fantasy owner, so I need that to get fixed. But, yeah, kind of.
I don't know what to do with Swift, dude.
I don't know.
Because Jamal Williams, even if Swift is healthy, Jamal Williams is getting 50-50.
And a TD thief, too.
Yeah. I would almost just Dalvin Cook or DeAndre Swift, just declare him out for 4 weeks. And then I'll either pick up Jamal Williams or I'll pick up Alexander Madison or whatever his name is. Alexander, is that his name?
You're right.
Yeah. Like a president. Yeah, it's Detroit. Whatever. They're 0-3.
Lamar Jackson, 5 total touchdowns. Ravens beat the Patriots 37-26.
Isn't it? I said this last week. Like, the Patriots just aren't winning. Remember our whole life where we're like, are they ever going to lose? They're losing, man. And Lamar Jackson could be the MVP of the league right now. He's betting on himself, and he's going out and proving it. He's really good.
It's Lamar and Jalen Hurts right now.
Yeah.
In terms of the early favorites.
Good call.
I'll admit it's the guy that was a little bit down on Lamar after last year where he didn't have a fantastic year. I know he's banged up for quite a bit of it, but the passing needed to be addressed in terms of being more consistent. He's been throwing it at a high level and not having a pure number one receiver. He's got Bateman. He's got Duvernay. I mean, he's making...
Andrews is a stud.
Andrews is a real stud.
But you're right.
You always remember... I always forget Andrews, and you always like, Andrews is like one of the best. He is.
But to your point, you don't have a number one really receiver. Or at least a guy looked at as a number one.
Yeah, and that's a big deal. And then also, by the way, he's like top 10 at least in rushing.
Unbelievable. Can you do that over a full season? I guess if anybody can.
He's done it before when he won the MVP.
He has.
Joe Burrow looks much more Burrow-like. 275 yards, 3 touchdowns. Bengals blow out the Jets 27-12.
I mean, if anybody needed that game, it's Cincinnati. Because now, what'd you say they've got?
Kyle's Dolphins on Thursday.
They've got the Dolphins coming up Thursday. If anybody needed that, it was the Bengals. So, good for them. If you ever need a positive, just play the Jets.
Yeah, I respect Burrow way too much than to expect that he would lose to. I've said it a million times. Cooper Rush, Trubisky, and then Flacco. They get a win there, and then to their fortune, they get maybe a worn-out Dolphins team. It's a very good one.
Yeah,
but one that played in crazy heat, defense on the field for 40 minutes against the Bills, and now they get to play a short week at home against that Dolphins squad.
Don't you put Cooper Rush in that category anymore?
He's decent, isn't he? Kind of decent.
He might be a starter somewhere next year.
Chicago?
Oh.
No, I don't want to do that yet. I don't want to do that.
Eagles sack Carson Wentz 9 times.
Poor
Move
Carson
to 3-0,
Wentz.
24-8 over the Commanders.
There was a point in that. First of all, how bad's Washington? Wow. There was a point in that first half, I think, Wentz had been sacked 6 times and had 24 yards. And I sat there and after seeing what Fields has been doing and after seeing, I'm like, what is happening to the NFL? Like, wasn't it like 2-3 years ago we were talking about how the defense could never stop an offense? Now all of a sudden they're catching up. Now, granted, Philadelphia is good. Like, I know Miami's good. But Miami's in the AFC against the Bills and the Chiefs, and I don't know about that in the playoffs. Philadelphia, man, right now they're the team to beat in the NFC, in my mind. And I like the Rams. I mean, I think they're good.
And the Eagles even have the schedule to back it up.
Yes, they do.
Very favorable stretch here. Fast track to the 1 seed. Can't forget about the Bucs yet if they do get healthy.
I agree.
And also the Rams deserve consideration as well. But they've made some good additions with A.J. Brown. They upgraded their defense as well. Their defense was outstanding in that game against the Vikings on Monday Night Football.
Yes.
And, Hurts is just – he is a thick runner. Like, he is a punisher when he decides to run it. Then now he's starting to throw for 300 on regularity.
It's crazy. All right, let's go quick.
All right, Panthers beat the Saints 22-14. Nothing exciting about that.
Gross.
Jaguars blow out the Chargers 38-10.
What
Trevor
is that?
Lawrence breakout game.
I mean, listen, kudos to Jacksonville and Trevor Lawrence and not having Urban. But you're not that good to where you're going to go to L.A. and beat the Chargers. And not just beat the Chargers, blow the Chargers out. Like, I thought that game at halftime, I'm like, okay, well, it's Jacksonville. The Chargers will figure this out. They'll figure out a way to win this game. And all Jacksonville did was just dominate the second half. How is that happening to these Chargers? Does Keenan Allen mean that much to this team? Come on.
I thought this was a pretty good Chargers defense. To go up 38 is not it. Herbert playing less than 100%. I wondered if he was even going to go in that game.
Yeah, and I agree.
You mentioned
That's
he got
huge.
it. He was going to gut it out, which he did. Didn't play all that well.
No.
And yeah, I have so much jealousy towards Jacksonville right now. I know. When you're in that same draft and they pick before you, and once they get Lawrence and you get Fields, you're like, who's in a better situation going forward? I don't think many would pick Jacksonville, and now it's not even close.
No, I agree.
Rams continue their dominance against the Cardinals.
20-12. For more action, call.
Can I ask you one question?
Yes.
Why?
I mean, Sean McVay. That's my answer.
Fair enough.
That was my answer.
Falcons beat the Seahawks 27-23. This was kind of an entertaining game, but no one cares about either team.
No.
So.
Seattle won't win again. Sticking to it.
Packers,
You're right.
Packers escape against the Buccaneers. Tom Brady and the Bucs took a delay a game on the 2-point conversion
That
attempt.
was a boring game, dude. I was watching that. I mean, the Cardinals game turned out to be bleh. So I just started watching more of the Buccaneers and Packers, and I'm like, this is boring me.
I fell asleep.
There you go. It was boring.
I'll give you a more boring game. 49ers Broncos on Sunday Night Football.
I didn't watch any of it. Andrew, Tay, how bad was the Packers game?
You were born.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. That was Andrew Tay at like 3 years old.
You were born.
I don't know. Is a 3-year-old able to talk like that? No. See,
Unless you know in a few years.
See, right.
3 years to be exact.
I'm such I don't think I'm a bad parent. I just, the early years,
Probably blends together.
Are they able to run outside with their glove and play catch? No? All right, then I'm good. I'm going to go golf. I'll come home and kiss them goodnight. No, I'm kidding. I wasn't that bad.
Let me save you by no, it's already passed. You're good. This is the Broncos. Even though they won, they got to feel.
What are their 3 games right now?
They
lost to Seattle.
Yes.
They beat the Texans by like 4 points at home, and then they beat
the Niners.
What was the score?
11-10.
I mean, what?
It was a higher scoring game, probably at Coors Field that night.
Yeah. This is they're right. They're having like fast pitch softball games when I was almost retired at like 44, when games were 9-8. I don't know. Russell just isn't.
He's not the same dude.
He's not. And they spent a lot of money for him, didn't they?
$240 million. Whew. And all the Jimmy G's back.
Yeah.
And he steps out of bounds. And if he didn't step out of bounds, he would have thrown a pick 6. He was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
All right, wrapping it up. Cowboys get it done last night against the Giants, 23-16.
You were born.
All 3 primetime games were terrible this week.
You were born.
Yep.
How about the Giants coming out? I got no skin in the game, fantasy-wise. I'm like, I've been hearing Saquon Barkley's back. They come out, and the Giants throw the ball like 19 of the first 20 times. And Troy Aikman's like, well, listen, I don't mind, them trying to mix it up here with trying to fool Dallas a little bit, but at some point you got to get a little bit even here on the I'm like, what are you doing? I don't know. Daniel Jones is horrible. He'll be gone. He'll be out of the he won't be out of the league. He'll be a backup next year. And then I don't know. Why is Troy Pollard not getting 20 carries a game?
Tony Pollard.
I'm sorry, what did I say? Troy? That's his cousin. Played basketball
13
for the
carries
Clippers.
for 105 yards.
Why is he not getting 20 carries? I know he's the smallish dude, and I know Zeke is still there, and Zeke would definitely pout. I'm telling you.
They gave Zeke a ton of money. That's probably the only difference, because Jerry
true.
Jones made the call of let's pay up for Zeke. And
Zeke looked pretty good. I mean, look, that's a good 1-2 punch for the Cowboys. It's
a good Cowboys defense, too.
It is. It really is. Man, all of a sudden I can't think of his name, the linebacker.
Micah Parsons?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, my goodness. Was he that good at Penn State? Like, I remember LeVar Arrington at Penn State dominating. And I remember Micah Parsons at Penn State, but I don't remember this Micah Parsons. He's unreal.
He is.
Wow. Kyle, congrats on the Dolphins, buddy.
Thank you.
When are you back this week?
I'll be here tomorrow.
Okay.
And Friday, I think.
And Friday. I was going to say, I think we were going to go through the NFL Thursday.
Maybe I'll have to switch it around.
Yeah, maybe you'll have to switch it around, but I didn't know what your class schedule was. You don't need to go to class.
That's great advice.
Tips from Lante, the mentor. We're back. It's The Drive.
Mom, she won't stop touching me. Broccoli stinks.
Guys, no phones at the table.
Family dinner time? Not easy. But you know what is easy? OSF On-Call Urgent Care. When you need convenient, affordable care for minor illnesses and injuries, you need OSF On-Call Urgent Care. Be seen in person or connect 24/7 online when and where you need it. Learn more at osfoncall.org/urgentcare.
Brand new fall savings start right now at Prairie Gardens. This week, the entire selection of fall silk stems, branches and berries, garlands and bushes are 30% off. Save 25% off select Woodwick and Milk House candle scents. Beautiful table textile groupings, placemats, napkins, and more are just $197 each. Plus, haunting finds a wait with spooktacular savings on Halloween decor at Prairie Gardens. Extraordinary gardening, home decor, and more.
Hey, this is Ben from the Humble Hog in Paxton. If you're listening and you've never been to a true barbecue joint, you need to stop a minute and come check it out. It's all about the local meat. It's all about the preparation. So aside from the typical barbecue offerings of brisket and pulled pork, turkey, we also offer our own spin on a few non-traditional sandwiches. You can also find our fine products in some of Central Illinois' best grocery stores. Stop by and check us out. That's humblehogbbbq.com.
Long's Garage in Urbana and Jasper Engines and Transmissions offer cost-effective solutions to your present engine or transmissions trouble. Avoid a costly new car purchase or high lease payments by putting new life into your present vehicle. Let Long's Garage install a Jasper remanufactured engine or transmission with a 3-year, 100,000-mile nationwide warranty and available premium service plan. Call Long's Garage at 367-3942. Long's Garage, 217-367-3942.
Tapman's Towing is looking for you. If you want a career with a great local company, it's Tapman's Towing, paying top dollar for experience. If you have an excellent driving record, good oral and written communication skills, are willing to work hard and want to be paid top dollar, visit tapmanstowing.com. Tapman's is looking for CDL drivers, record drivers, and dispatchers. Work with a local company that rewards hard work. Tapman's Towing. Visit tapmanstowing.com to apply today.
Tapman's Towing. This is Gina from ABC Heating and Air Conditioning. If you're looking for a top-of-the-line air conditioner, think Amana. We carry all sizes and offer expert installation. ABC Heating and Air Conditioning is locally owned, and we've been in business for 50 years. And for 50 years, the only brand we've sold is Amana. So go with a company that is local, dependable, and will be there for you no matter what time of day or night. ABC. Always be comfortable. Let us install your new Amana air conditioner. Visit www.abcheatingandac.com.
PDR Automotive in Urbana is a locally owned repair shop, and they've now serviced over 250,000 vehicles in their near 50-year history. Now, that's more than 4 times the size of a sold-out Memorial Stadium. It's more than all Division I athletes in the country combined. That's more than the entire population of Champaign County. That's more than, well, you get the idea. When you turn the key and the car won't run, call 367-9481. They are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR.
Thinking of selling your home? Today's market is crazy, but one way you can be sure to stand out is by replacing your old flooring with new hardwood. And the best place to do it is Carpet Weavers in Champaign. Carpet Weavers boast the industry's best brands, including Shaw, Mohawk, Paramount, and more. When it comes to natural beauty and a rich quality, nothing beats new flooring from Carpet Weavers. And they have financing options for your budget, so you can always afford the floor you truly want. Increase the value of your home by installing new, high-quality options from Carpet Weavers. Find out more online at carpetweaversflooring.com.
Hey, this is Ben Grice at the Humble Hog in downtown Paxton. And if you haven't been up to Paxton for our barbecue yet, let me tell you, you don't need a reservation. Just come on up. Barbecue with us is about as casual can get. We've got all your favorites. We're talking brisket, pork, amazing smoked turkey, our sausage. And while you're there, be sure to try the Paxton Punch. You can thank me on that later. Check us out online at humblehogbbq.com.
Carl works every day to improve the health of community members across the region, and it would not be possible without team members like Dwayne Linton, a nationally certified nurse in the emergency department at Carl Foundation Hospital.
I work with a team of people who really care about what they do and are very flexible and adaptive in rapidly changing critical situations, and I would trust any of them at any time.
If you're looking for an opportunity to serve your community like Dwayne in a supportive environment, visit carl.org/careers.
Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday morning 7 to 9, here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Sometimes I reach out to my friend Derek Piper for help when it comes to gambling. Nothing else. I want his help when it comes to gambling. I'm kidding.
Help not to quit. Help to make different wagers.
Yeah, I'm like, Derek, I've been spending a lot of money. Lon, stick to it. Open that wallet and spend more. You are going to figure this out one day. Well, you know what I did? I opened my wallet and I got even extra money, and now you're jealous because I've got extra money to use on BetUS.
That's right.
BetUS.com. I used promo code 935 and I got a 125% sign-up bonus. So now I got like money I can just throw away at random dumb parlays like Monday Night Football last night.
Or let's say you put in 100, you get 100 free in the sign-up bonus. Put that 100 on someone to win the World Series, which you can go there now, see their World Series odds. Oh. They're giving you money to wager.
What's the Cardinals' odd right now?
18-1.
1,800 to buy a lot of stuff.
I would.
All right, and that's free money.
Free.
BetUS.com. That's BetUS.com. Use promo code 935. You can also call them, 800-79-BET-US, and they will get you figured out, get you signed up, get you ready to go. If you're someone that hasn't done a lot of gambling or wagering and you've always kind of wanted to try it, do it. Risk $50, get 50. If you don't do it and you run out of 100, you're done. I think you'll enjoy it. And again, we laugh about it all the time about losing, but I'm literally losing like $3 or $5 each time. And then I'll win enough to get me back to that plateau. It's like, just do it. Big Def on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line joins us from New Jersey. What's up, man?
Hey, Lon, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How's the weather out in Jersey?
Oh, my God. It is beautiful, buddy.
Yeah.
It's a lovely sunset. The clouds are pink. The sky's blue. We're doing pretty good out here.
And you'll get
we might have some hurricane trouble though later on at the end of the week.
You're going to get 8 inches of rain in about 2 days. You know, it's like
yeah,
here it comes.
Well, my basement's going to hate me so much.
Oh, I bet. You were going to talk some what is needed out of this Illinois team against Wisconsin.
Yeah, back at the top of the hour, you guys were talking about kind of the must-haves, and I got kind of my own thoughts on that. By the way, Derek, good to be chatting with you too as well.
Good to hear from you, man.
Yes, sir. But, so I think one of the big things I'm like really looking forward to is seeing more RPO out of Barry Lunny. I think he's really kind of dialed that up a little bit and then dialed back on that the zone read and zone read option that he's like really was known for elsewhere to kind of complement those two.
Yeah.
And I just think I'm not sure he trusts the interior line all the way. It's good to see that he's made the adjustments. But I think you got to find a way to get some zone read and zone read option back into this game in order to really capitalize and really get those defensive linemen thinking and kind of move those. Then you're bringing those linebackers back up to really set up that RPO again. So it's like adjusting to the adjustment.
That's a good call. I actually heard a reporter today ask Paul Christ that they being Wisconsin have not done a lot of play action. And normally, that's a MO for Wisconsin because they get that running game going so well that play action, you just play into it. So, no, I'm with you on that. Big Def. Yep.
Yeah, with that RPO, that's the thing you're giving, that you're delaying that. You're giving them more to think about, getting them something to bite on. So then once they bite on that, Then they're going to overcompensate, move back, and that's where you can start. You set up the zone read with the RPO. So obviously the zone read is a run play where either Tommy is taking it if the DN crashes in,
right?
Or if he stays out, if he spreads out, then you've got Chase running the ball, right?
Good call.
So one of a few of the biggest things, you have to set that up with some outside zone plays to get Chase off tackle. You set that up, then you can bring in that zone read and zone read option. Zone read where Tommy needs to start keeping it a little bit. I think that's part of what's really held that back, aside from weakness in the interior line. So he keeps that a couple times. That springs Chase. Then you bring in the zone read option where you've got Isaiah, where he goes for that jet sweep.
Yep.
He fakes the jet sweep a couple times. Then you've got him as a pitchback for the zone read option. So if you can do that, if you can find a way you've got to set it up first. You can't go to it until you're ready.
Sure.
But that can be like, if RPO's your jab, you come around with like this nice big haymaker of some zone read.
All right, Big Def, I got to let you go, my man, because we got to catch Cardinals baseball here. But good stuff, my man.
Oh, great.
Thanks
so much. Great to talk to you guys. I'm a huge fan of the show.
Hey, and we appreciate it. We see your text, man.
Good
we
stuff,
really
Big
appreciate it. Big Def calling in from New Jersey. That's cool to hear, man. And I'm with him on that. And we're
multiple rushing attacks.
Yes.
A little more keeps for DeVito, and the jet sweep with Isaiah as well. Keep them wondering where it's coming out of the backfield. I think it's a good point.
Can I stick up for a mentor of mine and someone that works in the radio business? I was listening Saturday to DWS, their sports open line, or what do they call it? I'm not saying this funny. I can't remember now all of a sudden what they called it. Anyway, so Tate was on with Steve, and this caller had called in ripping Tate about freshman redshirting. And if he said it once, he said it 6 times. But you do agree, Lauren, that you think redshirting is important, or every freshman should redshirt. And Lauren's like, well, I didn't say that about Io or Kofi, and the whole time I'm like, don't shut him off. I was about ready to drive to the station and be like, who's running the board? Shut the dude off. This is Lauren Tate. He's a legend. Don't be ripping Lauren.
I agree. Lauren is a legend.
Don't be ripping Lauren.
I'm doing this. This is a joke.
Yeah.
In this guy's defense, maybe he was waiting in a drive-thru. Had some time to kill.
Touche, Pipes. Touche. Cardinals baseball's next. Yeah, we do. We totally do. All right, we're back. Tomorrow, we'll talk to you then. Cardinals baseball. Let's clinch it tonight. Do it for the Kipper. What? It's the drive.
Hi, this is Steve from Good Vibes.
And I'm Luke Goody, your favorite guard.
You know, Luke, you're the go-to guy when we need that corner 3.
And I know Good Vibes is the go-to place when you want a great TV.
That's right, Luke. Our mission is to make your shows and games look and sound live.
Sounds simple, but you have to really put in the work to be good at anything.
You got that right. I can tell by your defense, hundreds of hours of serious practice are behind it.
I guess in 50 years, Good Vibes has a few hundred hours getting good at-home entertainment as well.
Lots of practice, a talented team, and the best equipment, like LG OLED TVs.
Same here. My teammates, the gym, and the coaches all make me and my game better.
But you have to want to be the best. That comes from inside and can't be taught. I think you, me, and LG have that in common. I can't wait to watch you on the court this fall.
Crossroads Contractor Supply, bringing us our Stevie J Broadcasting Law Enforcement Official of the Month.
From the University of Illinois Police Department, he is Pete Milinovic, a police officer. What's it like and what don't they know?
I don't think they know how much we are aware the preciousness of our job and what our responsibilities are. Everyone knows, like, there's a good chance I'm not going to go home and see my family again, and I'm okay with that as long as it's saving someone else's family. From the outside looking in, that's a very scary risk, but that's a burden like I'm honored to carry. Like, I want to be that person. When your family's in trouble, I want them to see that when we come there, that the relief, that we're going to do whatever it takes, even if it takes the ultimate sacrifice, to make sure they're safe. I'm going to show up every day, no matter what, won't hesitate. And I know every man and woman wearing the badge.
Hey, Illini fans, it's Georgia B at Stevie J Broadcasting, and you are listening to the amazing ESPN Radio 93.5.
Deadpool 3, Ryan Reynolds teased.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Eastern Florida, Champaign, Urbana, Vicinity. All weather eyes focused across the deep south and southeastern states, Florida, Georgia, in through areas of Alabama and the Carolinas over the next 5 to 10 days. And that'll be the extended long-term impacts on Ian, expected to make a prolonged approach over the eastern areas of the Gulf of Mexico. That puts Florida on the eastern flank of Ian. That means an excessive spell of southerly wind and storm surge and rainfall. Ultimately, Ian comes ashore late into the evening or pre-dawn hours of Thursday, stalls out across areas of Georgia, and then slowly warbles its way up along the Appalachian Trail. That is a prime setup for an excessive rainfall event as well, 10 to 20 plus inches of rain in that part of the country or more. For the day today here in Eastern Florida, mostly sunny, cool 63, 38 for tonight, sunshine tomorrow, and Thursday too, highs into the low to mid 60s. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm Rochas, Greg Solgay.
4-minute stations, 4 minutes away from your next Fox News Top of the Hour newscast.
And obviously still a lot of talk about his recent accomplishment. Pujols is in the lineup today. He is batting sixth. He is the DH against the Brewers. So even with a right-hander on the mound in Adrian Hauser, Hauser doesn't throw especially hard. So we've seen Pujols especially be in the lineup against right-handers who don't throw all that hard. An interesting story was told recently. Mike Roberts was a scout in the Cardinals organization. Roberts was instrumental in the Cardinals bringing Pujols into the organization, drafting him. He recently appeared on MLB Network Radio and told the story of him really trying to push for the Cardinals to go select Pujols.
You know, I just thought that he was a baseball player, just that simple. You know, I mean, we talk about all the things, but, you know, there are guys that just can play. And they may not look like some of the other guys standing out there, but they can play. You know, when it came time to take Albert, or when we did take him, Mike Jorgensen was our player development guy, and he said, look, I need a guy that I'm looking for a guy that could play some third base, maybe play some left field, you know, this or that. And and we were sitting, we were in the draft room and had the draft board in front of us, and I was sitting there behind this big table, and I couldn't get to the board, so I just crawled right up onto the table and got up on my knees and said, "There he is, right there." And I pointed to Albert's name, and I mean, it was that simple, and we took him the next round.
That was former Cardinal scout Mike Roberts appearing on MLB Network Radio as we go inside the clubhouse. Inside the clubhouse is built by Window Nation. When we return, we will hear from Cardinals manager Oliver Marmol. He sits down with Mike Claiborne. That's coming up in just a moment. This is the Ameren Total Access Show on the Cardinals Radio Network.
This season, support our hometown national park, located in our own backyard in downtown St. Louis. Gateway Arch Park Foundation supports the conservation and preservation of the park and its landmarks, as well as educational opportunities and community programs that bring the national park to life. Support this vital work by becoming a member and receive membership benefits year-round, including free and discounted downtown parking. Visit Gateway Arch Park Foundation's website to learn more at archpark.org/membership.
Long live the moment with Topps baseball cards. Collecting is fun for both kids and adults. Packs feature everything from top stars, rookies, game-used memorabilia, and autographs from baseball players around the league, as well as special inserts and surprises. Find packs at local retail and hobby shops and on Topps.com. For more information on products and promotions, follow along on social media with @Topps and visit Topps.com to start your own collection today.
Tapman's Towing is looking for you. If you want a career with a great local company, it's Tapman's Towing, paying top dollar for experience. If you have an excellent driving record, good oral and written communication skills, are willing to work hard and want to be paid top dollar, visit tapmanstowing.com. Tapman's is looking for CDL drivers, record drivers, and dispatchers.